Good morning, good evening, and good afternoon. It's really with Spirit of Matter, and I'm going to do a freestyle blend. So this is Transparent Magic episode number 2, where I share with you my hobby for essential oils. This is not an astrological thing right now. It's actually Saturn's hour, but it's ruled by Jupiter, which is in good position. Jupiter is trining, it's in detriment, but it's trining Pluto. So I don't know for the names for the name of this blend, but I'm going to go with the flow and see what happens. So first off, I'm starting with thyme, and this thyme is coming from Spain. And thyme is good for like courage, expressing yourself. It's very cleansing. It basically destroys all fungi and viruses and all that kind of crap. So this is kind of an antidote to all these poisons. And how do we destroy these fungal things? We speak up and we speak the truth, and this gives us courage to go for what we want, what is aligned, what is good for us, and to have the courage to take the step forward. That's why I like it. It's very strong thyme scent. For those of you who like the herbs, it's a very Middle Eastern herb you have here around. It's also good against, we have all these flying bugs. So if you needed to. And the next up is peppermint, so Mentha piperita. So this one is coming from India. So, well, India, Mentha piperita. Mentha is actually very good for awareness. So it's good. It's also great right now in the summertime and it's hot outside. So I put some mint to freshen up. It's also associated with Archangel Michael. I told you my story about mint when I was in Netherlands, and there was next to me was sleeping someone who did cocaine, and she was doing it through the nostrils. She was sniffing it, and then so when I was using mint, so to mix things fresh, and also she told me she can smell my mint, and it returned to her the sense of smell. And so this is how essential oils work in general, but that was very, very nice. By the way, for this person, they tried time and time again to get off the drug alone. They weren't getting the help, and then they got COVID. So they were 10 days without the drug, but later it was difficult. And so, yes. Mint is also good to spread awareness, to call on Archangel Michael, to protect for our boundaries for the truth, and to keep us a bit cooler in the summertime. So this one is coming from India, and I know India is going through a lot right now. And this is a country that's usually known for its accepting of diversity. And I know with the WHO it's getting difficult, and think about all the Vedic astrology, what is Vedic astrology? When two people get married and before that they go to astrologer, it's acknowledging that every person is different and what fits for one doesn't fit for other. And this is also connected with Ayurveda medicine. And so I give blessings to people of India to embrace this divergence and to embrace this divergence on an individual basis. And so in that way to counter the communal enslavement through WHO that comes to put diversity and to get them against each other using the class system or the caste system to get Indians against each other. And perhaps it's refreshing time for India to have a more equal wealth distribution, taking into account the astrology, the medicine, and the great lineage and history. So to counter those who try to use the caste system against Indians and pit them up against each other. And so Mint can give us awareness. What is the change needed, and how do we do this change when we are in power, rather than power taken from us in the name of granting us that this will be the change? Okay, for when it's not, because change is coming from within the people. So, yes, next up, you already know from a previous video, this is a rock rose. And this is such a powerful oil. We think it's coming from Spain. And this is Spain that was conquered with very, very horrendous means. But this actually, what does the horrendous means? What is the Inquisition? It is basically infiltrating the life urge of people and try to subdue the life energy to the church. Not to Christ consciousness. There is nothing Jesus, there is nothing Christ consciousness about this. Okay, if you look at pictures of Jesus when from Old English, you would see Jesus actually described as a knight with the sword that is setting the boundaries, kind of like Archangel Michael. So this is nothing to do with Christ, but only the history of what they were washing, okay, like Christianity washing. And then they tortured people. And so what Sisters is actually doing is the mother whose will was not listened to during birth, she puts this on the hands, on the feet of her infant. Remember, the feet for Christ consciousness and the wisdom, both in Vedic tradition and in Christian tradition, is coming through the feet. Remember the importance of the feet, Pisces, Jesus. And this, in this way, is when the mother is doing that, she's reconnecting with what is actually divine, and is a warm welcome to the baby. As even though the life force will not be subdued. And this is the power for this oil for when we think about the day after the revolution. There are also the people who endured the torture, who endured infiltration, whether of the birthing. And this is in ways you don't even think, okay? What you think is called medicine, sometimes it's just plain out torture, and people are killed when they don't do, when they don't comply, even though there are medications, even advanced conventional medications that are good and that can bring people to full remission, even in cases of terminal cancer, but budgets are stopped. So this oil is to counter the effects of the Inquisition. It's basically to heal, but it's also to break glass ceilings. So even if you are healthy and you're born healthy, what this does is to connect you as a dominant smell, powerful, to break glass ceilings, to have the courage to not fear abandonment. And you can put it on the heels of your foot, okay? And to break glass ceilings, so you're not afraid of abandonment as you forge forward with basically what you came here to do. So this is Sisters, very, very strong, good scent that I like, help to release what was traumatized in us and forge forward and have warm welcoming into the planet. Remind ourselves, okay, that we are, but if you are spiritual or religious, we are divine in whichever form you see it. All we have a birthright. If you're atheistic, yes, you have the right to be who you are. So we say in Netherlands, you can be who you are here. And the next one is clove. And this is from Madagascar. And Madagascar, for me, is the country that's associated on my moon line. So when I had the Sadhasati, which is Saturn conjuncting the moon, I used the crystal Saturn from Madagascar, which was rose quartz. And this helped me to reduce criticism, judgment, for that I would not internalize and that I could support myself and use this energy of Saturn to promote love and self-love. That's how I endured my Saturn opposition to the moon. Okay, Sadhasati, I didn't know it, but I recommend to take crystal, ethically sourced crystal from the country where the line of your moon is. And for me, it's Madagascar. So Madagascar for me is the moonlight, but the oil is Jupiter. And in my natal chart, I have Moon opposing Jupiter. And so this is a good oil to bring good boundaries. This is also very antifungal, antibacterial, anti-everything. It has eugenol, which basically kills everything. This is how we learned about this, okay? Eugenol kills them all. It's really how we learned about this when I learned aromatherapy. And so this is, again, how do we kill something that is not desired? I'm going to bring in the Palo Santo soon. I have a story about the Palo Santo. But how do we kill something that's not desired? And how do we kill the effect of it in our life? We get more present in the body. We speak even more. We act even more on what we came here to do. And then with this power, we forge forward. Okay, we stay even more. Somebody tries to scare you from speaking up. You say even what you didn't say earlier, you say even now. Okay, it's what I said. For people, yes, this is very important to do that. In every case, okay. If you're afraid that if they will release you from jail or from prison, not just Assange, but everyone, and they would, then you would say even more of what you know. Say even more of what you know. So they will free you now, but they understand when you are free, you will speak the truth. When they try to impose you, you will get to the truth that they don't even know that you know, and that you wouldn't even know, and then you speak even more. So clove is excellent for that. And what is it very good for? Our teeth. Okay? Both mean for our teeth, for those fungi, for those caries, for what we get in our teeth, to kill all the bacteria. And the herb itself, yes, you don't even need the oil for that, it's the herb. And again, why is it so good for our teeth? What do we do with our teeth? Okay, we shape the mouth, shape the air as we speak up. We chew on the food, it's true, but we shape the air as we speak up, and this happens through also the shape of our teeth. And with our teeth, we connect with our ancestors. And we can speak not just our ancestors' wisdom, but speak to our ancestors. Because we came here also to change. Okay, we're lineage of people who make changes. So, this is clove. Very powerful. And, yes, I think this is... Oh, yes, but I don't think I have from this. Let's see if I can have... If I have from this, it's going to be great, but I don't have... Not the label and not the country. This is chamomile, but I don't know. Let's see if I can take this one. No, I'm going to put it here. So the next one, very relevant to our time, this is carrot seed oil. And carrot seed oil, Daucus carota. Okay, so the carrot seed oil. It's not. Okay, this is the essential oil, not the oil. This is from France. Okay, what is France most known for? Yes, in our modern times, other than the French Revolution, is the separation from what the state is and from what any type of religion. It is so much so that if you work in France, you cannot put your religious clothes. So if I would walk, I don't know, with a talisman, I would need to put it under my shirt. So that I respect that I can have my own set of spiritual practices, but is not allowed to do what the Inquisition did basically in Spain. And so France, you can say a lot of things about France, things need to change, things this, things that, but this is something it's very good. And for the oil itself, it is very good for when people have jealousy, for when people have hard feelings, bitterness, difficulty to relate. It removes all the junk. And for sometimes, if you actually need to make a move, it's removing all that junk. Okay? So this is very good for people You know, right now there are many protests around the world for many things, but don't you feel sometimes some of these protests, I know I felt this in Israel, are washing. They're not really people protesting. It is organizations that try to recruit people and to use them in strategic ways, and they know exactly how to rebel, how to make noise. Yes, they know, and they do the tricks that I know but how people that told me how they know and what they use for, yes, and I have my own say. So this is for where, and France is also very known for demonstrations every other day. And this is for where you want the freedom to demonstrate, the freedom of the revolution, the freedom to demonstrate, but to demonstrate for what you want to demonstrate, to demonstrate for your voice, and to make your own move. So nobody tries to recruit, nobody tries to put their own. So this is where you sow your seed, for not their seeds, your seed, into what you want, what is your dream, what you want to create. So it's very aligning, protective. It's very good for the skin. Okay, all these oils that are so good for the skin, why are they so good for the skin? They create healthy boundaries. Saturn! And this one releases all the bitterness, grudges. Okay, so it doesn't, you may have like emotional release. I'm actually in my moon days, so it's very good for me. So going to facilitate any purging that needs to be done. Oh wow, I love, some people cannot stand the smell. I had one teacher that didn't like and one teacher that liked very much the smell. And one day when I was actually homeless, I was putting this oil. I had this oil, so I put all of this oil on me. Don't ever do this, only if it does such things. It's not how you use oils. But what happened, I was sitting in the train and someone spilled all the crystals. I was sitting in the train and I needed space for myself. So only the people who could stand, tolerated the smell of covered seed oil could sit next to me. I was alone in the train. In the place where I was sitting. It was not crowded, I had a place to go. But that made sure I get my space, even for when I don't have house, when I don't have space. Just made sure. If you cannot tolerate me having my space, then get the fuck out. Okay? Very good for Palestinians right now, and very, very, very good for Israelis always. For any lineage, Irish, any lineage for where you felt you don't have your living space, but not like Hitler said, just the space to be. This is going to ensure you will have this space, and then you can relate. When you have enough space, you relate. Alternatively, if you don't have relations, yes, but this is balancing of the second sex chakra, usually about boundaries. Okay, to push away was not respectful for your boundaries. If somebody cannot tolerate the smell, is actually doing them good, because they will smell it even a little bit and they would run away, and they would get used to the smell by aligning the second sex chakra, which is basically healing. So it's like either you are healed, either you are respectful, or you are away, because I'm stinky to you. When this is such a smart oil, oh my god. I'm stinky to you for when you can't relate to me. If you can't relate to me in a respectful manner, I'm stinky to you. But you know, when you can relate to me in a good way, you're gonna smell this covered seed, you're gonna smell this smell, you're like, I love this. I crave this, and it's going to be nice for me to be around you because we can relate. But if I'm needing space right now, and I have this all around me for the people that are not respectful of my space, they're gonna find it stinky, and they're gonna want to go away. To sit by every price, they would want to go away from me. And so this is to repel what you don't want, and then be able to relate and attract and join what you do want. Release all these blockages. That's why it's so good for the skin. You see, every time I smell an oil, every time, then I also get more and more about this, of what happened to me with this. Use your freedoms. This, and I have another story about this, not with covered seed, but I live in a very Orthodox village, It wasn't at all orthodox, but then it got to be. And there are some great people, some very nice, very, yes, respectful people when you meet them. But you know, there are always the clashes and so on. The fears that they would try to cast away the people who are not with them and so on. But I was walking the other day and I was singing a song by Reinhard May, and this is in German. And this is, you must use your freedom. Okay? Die Freiheit nutzt dich ab, wenn du sie nicht nutzt. And I sing, a woman singing in a voice of a woman, I was singing in the street. And then I realized that these people, these religious people, the men that were crossing, they could understand me because they speak Yiddish. And Yiddish and German, they understand each other when we speak the languages. And so I was basically singing, use your freedom. For otherwise, the freedom uses you. I was singing in a woman voice because this for me was the practice of to practice my own freedom and to maintain for the woman voice. Or yes, we had a lot of problems before the war. But I try to make some things that are not in Christ consciousness, but also not for Judaism. Judaism is about, how Habermas said, justice, balance. If you disrespect women, then Jews have persecution. If you disrespect people who have a couple of genders, because if you kidnap children, torture children, wed them or force them to wed, like certain stories since the Inuit, where you're Bedouin, you're Muslim, you're Jewish, same. So now I'm going to add for the entire blend. Let me bring it. And this is, yes, that's the blend. This is you just see the bottle. This is a blend of yarrow. Yes, I don't remember where the yarrow coming from. Lavender, Bulgaria, again. Orange, from bitter orange, that I put in very low dosages, so it wouldn't create phototoxic effect. And Palo Santo. Oh, and elemi. So what do all these oils do? Okay, lavender, for we know from previous, is connect you with the freedom to be who you are. And I said previously, yes, in Netherlands we say you're right to be who you are. Here you have right to be who you are. Lavender is connecting you with the energy, going after what your heart's desire, being who you are. And so this is very important. And also, if it brings for you feeling like sadness or grief or something like that, there may be something you need to process with this sadness and grief, so you can be who you are and open your heart again, because you have the right to be who you are. So this is why I say it's okay to work with oils that you don't like, and a little bit, and also to work with oils that you do like, so to unblock what needs to be unblocked. And then there is bitter orange. So bitter orange, the bitter taste, by the way, is good for the heart. Traditional China. It's the yellow emperor, not me. So bitter orange is good for the heart. Bitter taste is good for the heart, and it balances the heart. Bitter orange is good to take someone out of sadness and sorrow into abundance, into joy of living. So releasing sorrow and releasing whatever blocks your joy. It's not blocks, it's okay. Grief is a part of life, but to process this and to release that so it can be a joy again, deepens the breath. Yes, let's say lavender, bitter orange, and then there is yarrow. And yarrow is a very, very good oil to balance everything. It's very balancing oil. It's balancing and the color blue. It has chamazolen, which is basically the azolan where you do CO2 distillation, then it becomes blue. It becomes a chamazolen, and this is very, very good against inflammation. But the color is blue. And you know, yesterday when I did Grow With Love, my previous blend that is uploading now, then I paid attention again, kind of the guides called me to pay attention to the colors. The color blue is color of truth. It's also color of Saturn, yes, but it's color of truth. And I know people that had psychic attack, what people call psychosis, that they would call on the blue light and say, blue light is filling me for all my body, all my organs, and emanating out of me, and that would align them with truth. Again, you see how speaking up, being courageous, doing what you want, that what you want in the sense that's aligned with you, not not abrasive, connected with your truth, and to speak your truth. You see how this color, the frequency, the oils, all these things were meant to do that. They are protective. And yarrow is called another heal all ailments. The heal all. Okay, it's not the heal herb. I think it's just healing everything. When you're connected with your truth, you are healing everything. And this is the big, and this is also why it's anti-inflammatory. It allows, well, connected with truth, yes, you can move freely. And you also, when you move, you get connected with the truth. Okay? So the freedom to move around, the freedom to roam, yes, use your freedom and understand this is medicine, this is truth. This is truth. No pill, no injection, no vaccination, nada, nothing can do for what a person, if they have been disconnected from the truth or trying to be silenced, nothing will heal them, nothing. And believe me, because I tried. I'm the person that tried to find the magic pill, okay? I'm the person that tried to find the magic pill because I didn't want to mess with all these people. Because when you know how deep the corruption is, or when you have a bit of a clue, you're like, who am I that can mess with that? But we are at a situation, time in our lives that we're called to speak the truth one by one. I have Pluto in my 12th house, it's my duty time, and we're called to blow the whistle. So this is standing in your truth. And then I have Elemi, this is from the Philippines. And this is very interesting because Philippines, I don't know a lot about. I know I met some people. In Israel, you usually have people either from Thailand or Philippines that they help for when there are elderly people. Then they come to help their families and to work. So this is how we get connected with people from Eastern traditions. Yes, so there's a lot that I just don't know about the Philippines. I know one person who is a queer, and now I think they are a lecturer in university that were from, I think they were from Philippines as well, or mixed or Philippines. But other than that, yes, I did not know. And this Elemi oil is basically about balancing the spirit and matter. For within, for without, it's erasing, and this is very deepening for the breath. It's healing deep wounds, creating good environment, which is very important in our days, to create good environment. And I find that I get a lot of laughter around this. So I don't know if you're Filipino, maybe you can tell me from the culture. It's very good. I think for children, healing wounds to do with children. So this one, and of course Palo Santo. For Palo Santo is coming from Ecuador. And Ecuador is just in the middle of Earth, between the north and the south. And the oil itself is associated with Incas. And I want to tell you a story about this oil. When I was doing aromatherapy in the beginning, I didn't have money to study. So what I would do, I would buy oils, and I didn't have money to go to holistic health practitioners. So I would buy 1 oil, 2 oil, and try to use them. I don't recommend to you to try this. And then I was in therapy with psychologists and so that was, they don't know what's energy. And I told you there were boundary violation happening there. Very intricate situation. And I would feel his energy all the time. I would feel his energy. I told him one, I say, I feel like I'm living with you. And when I would put Palo Santo, when I would burn Palo Santo, he would go to sleep. And so the other day, and then I stopped buying Palo Santo. I stopped buying Palo Santo because, you know, it is belonging to Inca, and it's there, and I'm like, there's so many oils. And after I made Grow with Love, I felt that again his energy was trying to interfere, and I'm like, oh my God, what now? I make all of this, and you know why? Because I said Grow with Love. When I asked him, when he was torturing to me, then I asked him, okay, if I go out, another person like this, enough of that, and then comes the next patient. How do we grow with love? So he tortured me. Yes, he threatened my life. And so I said, okay, I must to add from this blend where it's including Palo Santo. And then with this blend, still have to deal with things, but then I did that. And then again, you see the interferences, the this, the that. I'm going to put from this blend. Yes, they don't like, it's what can I do? Yes, they were going through something, but I'm not to blame, and I'm definitely not to put it against me. Huh? So, the Palo Santo growing in Ecuador is belonging to Inca, and this is a tree that dies natural death, and is again also very anti-inflammatory, very healing for the liver, very associated with the moon, nourishing unconditional love, shamanic joining kind of oil. And so when I put Palo Santo a couple of days ago, I was going to buy frankincense and orange. Why? Because it deepens the breath. And that was before my moon day, so I want to buy this. And then I had like inner voice, it said, you won't believe what, you brace yourself because you won't believe what oil we are buying now. And I said, what now? What? I came all this way. And I got the voice that said, Palo Santo, please. I said, Palo Santo. Okay, Palo Santo. And I understood that it's important for me to work with this, even though it's belonging to Inca. It's important for me to work with this because this is the oil I work with on the topic of what they did to my therapist that got him to torture me in a ways that were preparation for democide that took place in Israel and Palestine. And speak my voice, yes, but also for to have energies of Palo Santo. I want to say another time when I ran into this is when Venus was Kazimi. Here another, when I just speak, then they try to interfere with the energy, imageries of blood, enough. Won't help, back to sender. Back to sender. Every time it's just more truth coming out. The psychic broadcast for all the people that think they are alone with this. And I refer you to the Imagination podcast. We can find out more about this happening around the world. And testimonies, real testimonies of real people. So now, when I was doing doggy sitting and Venus was Kaziming in Libra, then at the place they told me you can use the oils, you can use everything. And I was like, oh my God, I'm in heaven. So I had my own rose salt, my own rose oil, and it got finished. And I put some kitchen salt, and I put a couple of drops of Palo Santo, and I had Palo Santo with rose. Which is what I'm going to add here as well. And for this Palo Santo with rose, and I slept very, very good. So it got to me. So now I'm going to put just the entire thing, and it is for Ecuador. So big blessings to Ecuador, which I think is not in diplomatic relation with us now. And of course, I'm going to add the rose, okay? And this is rose from Turkey. So I really don't know if this is Turkey now, they're choosing for Ataturk and so on. But this is very interesting. I still need to decipher why Turkey, because usually we get the rose from Bulgaria, and I spoke about this. I've never been to Turkey, and all Israelis travel to Istanbul. Turkey, you know, is known for gay people. Maybe queer love is Pride Month, but also it's love frequencies in general. So blessing for the queer community in Turkey and for the Kurdi people, for freedom for the Kurdi people, because we cannot say Turkey without Kurdi people. Just like we cannot say who without Israel and Israel without Palestine. So this is, yes, and this is frequency of love, rose. It's good for hormonal system, very expensive oil, but I love it, and its basis for all that I do is to bring us to frequency where we feel love, we have love, then we are good people. It's very true for people when they have love. If you see the people, the most crooks, the most criminals, the most this, the most that, or what they do this either for their love or because their heart is broken. It's just so simple. And so, yes, for the last one, of course, Angelica, Belgium, I talked about this. We cannot think of the day after the revolution without thinking about all these children that have been kidnapped and tortured, all this to stop and for them to heal, and for good upbringing, so good conception, birthing, upbringing. So this is for Angelica, coming from Belgium, okay? And so it's right at the place where people had the testimony for Anneke Lucas, had the testimony for when they were used as expendable children, all the eugenics and all the things common associated, okay? Bringing back or bringing something that maybe even wasn't. And this is for Belgium, it's a small country with divergent minorities that is always known for the fact that there are streets where you have 3 countries in one country, and this should be celebrated. This should be celebrated rather than being a bunker for atrocities. So for Belgium to stop being a bunker for atrocities and to be thriving, and for children to be thriving, not just in Belgium. So this is Angelica Seed with Archangel Angelica, healing from the angel's very strong scent. You think it is like ethereal, it's nada. It's strong scent, it shakes you up. It's very good not against people who deal with addiction, or people who deal with ailments that you cannot diagnose, or chronic ailments, or people. When I learned about it, the same mentioned the word hypochondria. I don't think there is such thing. What I do think is that all the things that are associated with ailment, like, do we feel love? Do we have love? Are we safe in our surroundings? Okay? When yes, we move, we flow, we dance, and then we are healthy in general. Okay, it's just natural. Well, when not, then start the problems. And so this is how. But the problems is usually, okay, what do you need? We need housing, nervous system supportive housing, with soil that you can walk on, which is easy for you to maintain ecosystemically. For you need relation, for you need to be accepted, to the right to be who you are. Now I'm going to top this with sesame, for the right to be who you are, and being included in society. For people not included in society, it's when the troubles begin. But also when we all included, okay, it's not the one person included, one is the victim. Okay, this is inclusivity, is really beyond those divisions. And then for spirituality, or for whatever is giving you life, okay, love, doing something you like, and so on. So this is our blend. And this one is dedicated to more the dream, the vision. And And so also to understand the day after the revolution, how do we bring it? We live it today. We act on it today, we speak it today, we live it today. And this is how we bring the day after the revolution. So when the revolutions, for the changes, for the chaos, okay, when it subsides a bit, there are always changes, will subside a bit, we're not bored. Because we already enjoy to look at the trees. And I want to say to you, even when people have trauma, there's focusing, okay? When they tell you to count the trees, to count or to look at the leaves of the trees or to look at nature. And this is grounding for the psyche. And so there's a natural balance for nature to correct itself, because this is also what you do the day after the revolution. You just enjoy, whether it's watching the trees, playing, waking up, and there's a little puppy, looking at you. That's how I wake up sometimes, and there's a little puppy looking at me. It brings you back to the joy of living. And this is also for when people deal with traumas, is what brings them back to life. And also for when the day after the revolution, this is life. Okay, so this is what you do when you don't have anybody to fight. Yes, it's no problem. You still play, you still enjoy, and you have more life, not less life. So we live this day today, and with this I'll end.